Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany Cruz, and in this short video I'll be sharing my research I conducted on urban development and community life in Soundview, a neighborhood in the southeast Bronx where I grew up. Now you may be wondering, what the hell is Soundview? Like I said, Soundview is a neighborhood in the southeast Bronx. Soundview is a waterfront community bordered by the Bronx River and the East River. It's part of Bronx Community District 9 and home to a mostly Black and Latino working class population. Historically, Soundview has faced issues like underinvestment, pollution from industrial runoff into the Bronx River, and limited access to green space. But it's also a place of resilience with deep community ties, grassroots organizations, and a growing culture of environmental activism. Now that you know a little bit about Soundview, let's get into the big question. My research question is, what are the perceived impacts of government-led redevelopment versus community-led environmental efforts on neighborhood identity and quality of life in Soundview? I wanted to explore how residents feel about both types of developments and whether they believe these changes reflect their needs and values. Now, to conduct this research, I used 4 main methods. Academic analysis, where I read studies like Caitlin Schlichting's work on the Soundview slums and demographic reports on Community District 9. Journalism, I analyzed articles like Saki Knofo's New York Times piece on composting, which reflected how the media portrays local change. Visual analysis, I took photos around Soundview Park and housing developments to understand the physical landscape. And lastly, I conducted a survey for residents to learn how they perceive changes in the area. And here's what people said. From 8 local responses, most participants have lived in Soundview for over 10 years. Over 70% were aware of local community-led efforts like Beautify Soundview Park or the Bronx River Alliance. When asked how recent changes affected the neighborhood, many had mixed views. Some welcomed improvement, but others felt disconnected from redevelopment. And a majority said that they do not feel community voices were included in government planning. And when asked what they valued most, common answers were community parks, affordability, and safety. And here are just some survey chart results. The first survey on the left of the screen is asking residents if they felt like recent government-led changes like new housing and zoning changes had a positive effect on Soundview. Out of 8 participants, 75% of them disagreed, with 12.5% of them strongly disagreeing. Now moving on to the chart on the right side of the screen that asked residents if they felt like recent community-led efforts like Beautify Soundview Park positively affected Soundview. And surprise, surprise, well, maybe not. 50% of the residents participating in the survey agreed. From all my research, one major takeaway is that top-down redevelopment often misses what really matters to residents, like preserving green spaces, affordability, or a sense of belonging. On the other hand, community-led environmental projects are more likely to reflect local priorities. They build pride, connection, and hope for the future because they're based in lived experience and direct participation. Soundview isn't just a zip code. It's a place people care about deeply. If we want just and sustainable development, we need to support community-driven solutions, not just developer-driven ones. This matters because neighborhoods like Soundview are often treated as blank slates for outside investment. But real change happens when residents are part of the conversation, not left out of it. My call to action is this: listen to the people who live here, support grassroots projects, show up for cleanups, donate to local groups, or just ask your community what it needs. Because when residents lead, neighborhoods thrive.